A big thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, and a big thanks to all of these donators of $5 or more. Gloomy Horse, An Enthusiast, Willie Davenport, and Vlad Tepish 3176. You all helped make these episodes possible.
Howdy, insufferable gaming fans. Your old pal Rosser here. Today, we're playing some more Castlevania 3. However, I have to be very, very quiet because I have lots of family sleeping in various rooms around the house. I have family visiting, and despite that, I am forced to stay up to all hours because of errands. You may hear a lot of noise in the background. This would be my 3D printer. Turns out I've got a lot of 3D printing to do, so I'm trying to get it all done before I die of old age. Last time, we made an attempt that went all the way to the boss, and then 2 lesser attempts that did not make it nearly as far. So hopefully, this time, we can... Hey, Iron Crow. Nice to see you. I don't expect you'll stick around hating Castlevania as you do, but good to see that you gave a shout out. Always nice to see people are still around. So, last time, as I was saying, we made it all the way to the boss on the first attempt, and then didn't get nearly as far on the next couple of attempts, which kinda sucked. But, as they say, what you gonna do? In my case, not very much. Let's get the hell out of here before I get killed by a bat. Wabbits, bats, what have you, really? At least I know how to get through these first few rooms without too much of a problem. Except for the next one, where I will inevitably be struck by a block. Now, you might wonder what I'm drinking at almost 3 a.m. The answer is I'm drinking a delicious quote-unquote concoction called grog. Now, what is grog, you might ask? Well, you may know it from the Monkey Island series. The way you make grog is to put 2 parts of rum to 5 parts of water, and thank God that you're not in the British Navy in the 1800s. It was invented in order to make sure that the Navy's water preserves on ships were not subject to listeria germs. So they'd put rum in it to make sure that it would kill the germs. I'm drinking it because I can't go downstairs without waking up half the house. So my options were rum and tap water. In case you're wondering, it's not great, but it's far from the worst concoction I've had. And now we're off to the races, as it were. This is the part I hate. Because I can never remember, for starters, how these things tend to fall. Chances are, I might never be able to remember it. Wow. That slime just popped right on down there, didn't it? Very unfortunate. Alright. I'm definitely going to want an axe for the next part. Fortunately, beating the bat is the easy part. That mean old bat. As I've said many times before, a precursor to the Zeph bat from Super Castlevania 4. And now, the miserable part that we all love. And by we all love, I mean we all hate, specifically me in particular. Especially me in particular. Now, as had been pointed out last time, things change when you can see the extra blocks on the upper left corner of the screen. What I don't know is what to do about it. To not get hit once it changes. That's the tricky part. It really has been one of those weeks, guys. It certainly has. And this Labor Day weekend, if I'm to date the video, is not gonna be a whole lot better. Well, there's what I was talking about. I saw the change, but I wasn't sure what to do about it. Next time we'll know, jump mightily to the left and hope for the best. Well, son of a bitch. It's okay. We've got this. Now, to be fair, DZ, I didn't jump straight down that hole. I was flung straight down that hole, and by straight down that hole, I mean down that hole in an arc. So, that wasn't entirely my fault. Alright. Any layer now. Probably the next jump will do the trick. And so it did. Well, that wasn't very friendly of you at all, was it, Mr. Blocks? No, I don't suppose that it was. Blaming San Andreas for false would just be silly. Everyone knows that all of the faults lie in Vice City. Well, at least I'm getting my dying out of the way early. Hooray, I guess. I'm 3D printing objects for family members. I'm trying to rapidly convert hundreds of MP3 files for another family member. It's going to take me all Labor Day holiday weekend. But that's okay. I just got a notification on my phone. I wonder if it's my family telling me to shut the fuck up. It is not. We're safe for now. Hooray! That means we can keep playing. Hooray, hooray! Well, I do have to talk. I can't furiously make facial gestures because I'm not furious yet, you see. It's okay to talk as long as I talk quietly. That's the rub, isn't it? If I talk more quietly than the noise being emitted by my 3D printer, I should be fine. In theory. Lots of things work in theory, but we've been over that. That's an ancient joke, and I really need to remember to not keep making it over and over again. But I can't help it. It's such a good one. I feel like I could make this jump now. So I did. Okay. Here come the spiders. Fortunately, if I can make it through the next room, there's a chance that I can get some wall meat. Oh wait, no, it's the room after this one. I have to do this all in one go, because this is my last life. But there is a 1-up over here, so that could help. You know, I forgot all about my Don Knotts joke. I had stopped using it. But now that you've brought it up, I feel like I have a couple more chances to use it again in the future when you least expect or want it. So thank you for bringing back that joke. It's one of my most beloved. Oh dear. Shit. Get me the figgledy fudge out of here. Not baby, uncle, and 2 cousins. Fortunately not my aunt, as she elected to sleep on the couch downstairs. For some reason, it's more comfortable for her. I'm not asking questions. I choose to accept this. And, oh right, now the scrolling section. Because we must have a scrolling section if we're to believe that life is complete. Wouldn't it have been great if I had gotten here on the first life, so that I would have several opportunities to relearn this segment. Perhaps I could make a mistake and still have a chance to get back here. That would have been really neat, I think. Unfortunately, it didn't happen quite that well. Oh my. Yep. Having a chance to learn that area would have been very nice in this situation, I think. Let's try again, shall we? How many episodes have I been stuck on this level? 10 episodes? 20 episodes? It feels like quite a few. This is as wide as I can open my eyes now. They're dripping with fat and fatigue. It could be days before I get a proper night of sleep at this point. No, DZ, I really don't want you to count. Because that would be hilarious. And as we all know, I can't stand a really good comedy bit. Give me dat candles, says I. Phew. I also just put in a fresh pair of contacts so that I'd be able to see properly. I've been wearing glasses for a couple of days, mainly because I've been spending about 16 hours a day staring very intently at my computer screen. This has not been good for my eyesight. It tends to burn very badly, very frequently. The reason I've been staring intently at my computer screen is because I've been doing a lot of 3D modeling and such. And unfortunately, a lot of the information on the programs I use is written in very tiny little fonts that I have to get real close to the screen for. And a lot of the video games I've been playing in my downtime have very tiny little words in very tiny little fonts that I have to get real close to the screen for. Now, if I were playing more games like this, that had big, glorious, blocky pixels, and a controller instead of a mouse and keyboard, I could lean back and give my eyes a break. But unfortunately, that has not been the case as often as I would have liked lately. More's the pity. There we go. You're right. Mighty Bomb Jack did have great big blocky text. Now there was a game that was completely insane, and I had no idea how to play until my beautiful viewers decided to give me hints from the instruction booklet. From that day on, I decided that if I ever got stuck in a game, I would read the instruction booklet. Two hits right off the bat. Oh, did I say two? I meant three. It's okay. I can still take one more hit. Well, two if we're being generous. But as we all know, this game isn't very generous at all. In Soviet Russia, bat hits you. Wait, everywhere bat hits you. Never mind, that was a piss-poor Yakov Smirnoff joke. Speaking of Smirnoff, I can't afford Smirnoff, so I'm drinking Admiral Nelson. Hi-yo. Honestly, I would drink Admiral Nelson, preferably before I would drink Smirnoff, because I find Smirnoff to be overrated. I like the American brand vodka, because it tastes just as good, but it costs half the price, due to not having to worry about export taxes and such. Highly recommend the American brand vodka. We're making it up there, one block at a time. The bricks, they just keep a-fallin'. Yep, I was wondering if I got the wrong order there. Turns out, I did. Okay, we're making pretty good time. It's going to feel really bad if I beat this level today, because that will mean that I can't celebrate using loud noises, which is what I certainly would want to do in this situation. If I make it through this today, I will absolutely want to scream and shout quite jubilantly. At this rate, it's not looking great. But I've faced worse odds before. To the this way. There's that one up that we love so much. Now we've got 3 lives to try to get through this area. Of course, we have to get through the extremely difficult platforming section, and then the scrolling area, and then 3 bosses, all on 1 life bar. Standard Castlevania 3 fare, really. I saw that coming. I saw it coming and I walked right into it because, really, at that point, what could I do? Nope. This screen is garbage. Then again, most of the screens in this level are garbage. Yes, jumping directly into the first bad I see was my plan all along. You can see how well that worked out for me. I have many loud noises I would like to make now, but unfortunately I can't make them. No, the timing on those platforms, that was amazing. Really top-notch, I must say. I've done fucked up. No good at all. No good at all. Unfortunate that. Now we start the slow ascent back up. If you'll excuse me, I have to check some of my other uploads. Oh. Well, they're very nearly done. That's good. As long as I don't accidentally click the wrong button and delete the file that I've spent the last hour and a half converting via an internet program, we'll be good. Fingers crossed. I may have to pause a few times here to make sure that I don't mess this up. I went to the dentist and got my cavity the filling in my cavity fixed. It had been loose since I got it several months ago, and every time I flossed, it floated up to the top of my mouth. Eventually, it popped out right before I went in for a tooth cleaning, so I was able to get it put back in for free. Unfortunately, due to my heavy drinking, I'm very resistant to sedatives. As such, they had to pump 4 ampules of anesthetic directly into my gums before I stopped being able to feel the tools grinding on my tooth. It was very uncomfortable, and I did not care for it at all. But now that it's done, the right side of my jaw can chew food like it used to be able to do before I ever got my cavity filled in the first place. So overall, I guess I feel good about it. And now the bricks keep falling on my head. Well, that time they didn't fall on my head at all. Could it be that I'm getting the hang of that? Probably not. But it would be nice to believe that I am. Obviously now the time has come for that slime to give me trouble where it hasn't before. But that's okay. Because, as we've mentioned before, free wall meat. Yes, better bricks than dicks raining on my head. Unless you're into that sort of thing. In which case, you know, then dicks would be better. I guess if we're being completely honest, I'd rather have a dick fall off of the Empire State Building and hit me in the head than a brick, but only in a purely technical sense, you see. Because the latter would most likely kill me. It has been said that I'm very thick-headed. However, I do not think that I'm thick-headed enough to take a brick to the head. Even Ron Jeremy-sized dicks are probably able to be deflected by my head at terminal velocity. I used to work at a place called C&S Doors, where there were 6.25-foot-long pieces of wood that ran through a machine at high speeds. And back then, we had a saying, it's not a full day at work until you've been hit in the head by a giant piece of wood at least once. That was the same job where I learned how to headbutt through 3 sawdust bricks in one fell swoop. I got very good at headbutting through things to impress new hires. Perhaps that speaks to why I have trouble remembering things to this day. But then again, it could be completely unrelated. Let's be honest, it's probably not completely unrelated. Partially unrelated, perhaps. I guarantee you, Dead Zergling, every new hire we got, everyone who worked there at the time, warned them to run as fast and as far as they could, but they almost never believed us, because much like those of us who worked there in the first place, they were all desperate for the work. Which is why I've applied for every factory job in the area, even the ones where everyone says that it's a miserable, hellish existence and that no one should ever work there. Because I really need the money. And that's okay. I would prefer a job where I have a chance of dying of a heart attack or heat stroke, rather than having to work at a cash register and deal with the public. But only by a very narrow margin, and at that margin is purely down to personal preference. Because I'm not much of a people person. I think we all knew that I'm not much of a people person. I know. The clues have been very subtle over the years. It's not something that you would expect to find out about me. Oh yes. I'm made out of people. I'm like Soylent Green. I'm the Soylent Green of people, because I myself am made of people. Someone write that one down. I think that it is very telling that we've gotten to the point where the falling block room is not the sticking point, but rather this room right here is the one that's giving me the more trouble. Yes, this room is quite awful. I agree completely. Crap. It requires ridiculously precise jumps. And those hurt fast at that. I knew that was coming. Ah yes, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure references. I finally did decide to rewatch that, and I watched the whole lot. And now I'm looking forward to either the next series coming out, which could take a while, or perhaps just reading the manga, which I understand is about 5 seasons ahead. I have enjoyed reading a manga or two in my time. The problem is, my poor defenseless left-to-right reading pea-brain has trouble remembering which way to view the panels. And that's not me being, what's the word I'm looking for? Linguisticist? It's just my being so very used to a certain style of reading for very, very, very many years. It's hard to teach an old brain new reading techniques. If it were simply a matter of rearranging pre-existing letters that I already knew, it would be much easier. But alas, it's the technique to it, I'm afraid. This isn't looking very good, is it? I might not make it. Go, go, go. Hooray. I can't believe I made it through there. However, I'm glad that I did. That means I have a shot at the boss. It's not every day that I get a shot at this boss. Hopefully, I won't waste every single one of my hearts trying to get there. It would have been nice to have that doubler, to be certain. But it wasn't my day to get that doubler. The mummies come first. I have no reliable way of killing them. Unfortunate. Well, we at least made it to the boss. So we're making incremental progress, I suppose, compared to the earlier runs today. Compared to the earlier runs last week, we're doing objectively worse. It would seem that the left side is the side to be on, as that is the side that contains the meat, and also the side with more stairs and fewer jumps. And all in all, it seems just slightly easier. Wow. What a shitty way to take out more of my health there, game. That wasn't very nice of you at all, was it? Let's get that Axe Knight. I'm out of hearts. Of course. I should have known, honestly. Going into this fight without any hearts is really the only way to do it properly. Well, that was incredibly shitty. I didn't care for that at all. I sure do really hate that mummy fight. Perhaps there's a way to beat the mummies without merely whipping like crazy. Start the mummies on the left side. Well, I haven't actually tried that yet, so it couldn't hurt to make that attempt. Ah yes, hitting both at once to tank it. That is actually an idea that I'd had, however, I have not been implementing it. Luckily, I just got that one up. 3:30 in the morning, not a soul in sight. City looking like a ghost town on a something moonlit night. Garth Brooks, and the thunder rolls, to paraphrase a bit. I used to have the Garth Brooks double live album. I lent it to a friend of mine. Unfortunately, the CD was packed too tightly into the case, and at some point when he tried to take it out of the case, the disc snapped. It wasn't his fault, because it truly was very tightly packed in there. I am livid about the way this went. I'm just gonna take it out on that Axe Knight. Alright. Let's see if we can do something about these guys. Well, I'm not gonna lie, That was frightfully effective at first. Shit. Now we just have to worry about Mr. Cyclops. Mr. Cyclops might be a bit of a problem after that. But then again, he always has been. Every day in every way, Cyclopses always be giving me problems. I've always said that I have 99 problems, and Cyclopses are 98 of them. Yeah, that's... Oh wait, no. I said I have 99 problems and eyeballs are 98 of them, because I play classic Nintendo games, and Nintendo games are rife with eyeballs. Flying eyeballs, eyeballs that shoot lasers, my own eyeballs burning and frying. You know, the classics. Oh my, I almost forgot to check my upload/download. Let's see how that's going. Ah yes. Let's just start that download. I said, let's just start this download. There we go. Now I won't have to feel like I've wasted the last 3 hours. Assuming the download doesn't shit the bed. Because on my first attempt, I did hit the wrong button, and my download did shit the bed. And I thought to myself, wow, I didn't think that that's how this was going to work, but I feel really badly about it. And now I'm gonna have to stay awake for another few hours. And then, after that, I thought, well, it would appear that I'm going to just have to stay awake all night. Uh-oh. Well, this is a dilly of a pickle. I'm angry beyond rational thought. I sure do love these disintegrating blocks. They're the best, aren't they? Disintegrating blocks are the greatest thing ever. I like disintegrating blocks. Disintegrating blocks can come over to my house and fuck my sister. That's how much I love disintegrating blocks. Don't let what get to me? The disintegrating blocks that I have clearly accepted as not a problem, that will not bother me in the least ever again. Because I feel like I've been very relaxed about those disintegrating blocks. Here we are at the boss again. 0 lives, but a full health bar. So this could work out very nicely. swear I hit the jump button. I've been hitting the jump button a lot, but I've also been whipping so quickly that the jump button did not work in those situations. Shit. There was pretty much nothing I could have done there. I mean, except for play better. Playing better might have worked. But alas, I did not. And as a result, I was killed by a cyclope. Good old Cyclops. He gets me 1 time out of 1, if you count the last life that I played and none of the others. I probably should not have started another attempt, as I really very badly need to go pee. But here we are, dealing with the acid drips. Drip, drip, drip. The psychology of this is not lost upon me. Ah, I see what you did there with your pun, and I appreciate that. I do like a good pun. I also like a terrible pun. Fortunately for you, I'll accept either. Let's see if I can make it through this room without taking any damage again. What's the over-under? What are the Vegas odds? Whoops. So much for that. Ah well. This isn't the section that I have the most worries about anyway. Now is it? Though perhaps it should be, as those who become complacent about earlier sections of the level will soon find themselves unable to defeat them. And nobody wants that. If only I were as good at the second half of this level as I am at this particular half. Wouldn't that be a lovely situation to be in? Woo-hoo. Immediately took a hit. That's okay. I've got that nice one-up to look forward to on the horizon. Next screen, 2 bats. and then a 1-up. Just gotta make it there. That shouldn't be too difficult, should it? Just have to make sure I don't fly bodily into a pit. And everyone knows that in a Castlevania game, you hardly ever fly bodily into a pit due to a simple timing error. That almost never happens. Now, I could jump up to expose the top more quickly, but that would be a bad idea. That would be a terrible idea. It might cause me to take extra hits that I shouldn't normally take, and we wouldn't want that now, would we? Would we? Now, who said anything about rushing? I'm legitimately trying to do it at the normal pace, consistently, the same way every time. And I'm not being facetious, even though I'm talking like this. I have no choice but to talk like this to keep from raising my voice and waking up my family. You make a good point there, Dead Zergling. I didn't think of it that way, but you are not wrong. The problem is, I have to think of that in real time, whilst I'm dodging blocks. You'll notice that that time, I decided to wait until the blocks filled in. While I was waiting, a block came down from the ceiling and knocked me into the pit. You'll see where this is a bit of a problem and detrimental to my overall goal of getting through this fucking stage. Yes, I feel number one deep inside of me. Thank you for reminding me. Let's try this once more, with feeling. And hopefully without taking a block to the brain pan. Okay. I can't rush that immediately. I have to wait 1/2 of a second, or else I'm hosed. Duly noted. It looks like my 3D print is nearly done. Now, I'm going to stop this for now. I may or may not do something else later, and by later I mean in a few minutes, but I very much need to go to the bathroom, so I'm going to stop the stream for now. For those of you watching later on YouTube, thank you all for watching. For those of you watching on Twitch right now, I may or may not be back in a few minutes. We'll see. If I am back in a few minutes, I'll have to still be somewhat quiet. But for all of you, I appreciate the views. Thank you all for watching. This has been your old pal Rosser. Take a drink.